Hey there guys, SCL3618 here. Okay, this evening we're doing something entirely new, and as you can see by the box, we are going foreign. In this case, we're unboxing a Kato D51 Mikado. Now, I'll go into the history of the locomotive a little bit later. I'm still a bit rusty myself, but this is an all-new venture, and I'm excited to mess with it some. So without further ado, let's get cracking. First and foremost, a little bit of history about the locomotive. In terms of the name, what's in a name? That is a momentous question. In terms of the Japanese National Railway's naming fleet, D was the designation for a locomotive that had 4 sets of driving wheels, i.e. 8 in this case. The 5-1, the 51 class, it was 50 through 99, were designated tender locomotives. So we see here we have a 8-wheel drive locomotive with tender, 282 Mikado. Pretty easy there. In terms of track gauge, these guys were actually built under 3-foot 6-inch Cape gauge, as opposed to the usual standard gauge, which we just see stateside or other. During World War II, these guys were big freight haulers and played a large part. Kawasaki Heavy Industries actually produced these locomotives, which is kind of cool to me. It's a new fact I'm just now learning. But very nice looking locomotives to me, proportioned well, and Kato did a bang-up job on this model, which we'll get to right now. Okay, it should be noted this locomotive is used. I got it off eBay, so what you see isn't necessarily what you're going to get. For the packaging, it's pretty standard. Let me get... There we are. That should be noted on the back. Got a really cool little illustration of the locomotive side profile. This is a Hokkaido classification locomotive. So we'll take the jewel case off. We've got the glorious instructions that I can barely read a word on. Pretty self-explanatory schematic showing you how to change out couplers, the number boards, and the like. However, we're here to see a locomotive, not paperwork. So, this is what you get in the box. You see, got a very nice looking 282 there. The cool thing I've noticed about Kato is they actually include number plates. So let's just say you didn't want to have D51 710, which this one is. You could easily switch it out to any of these you choose. So you've got, well, it's upside down. But you've got options for the engine and tender, which is kind of cool. Also in the box, I've got a detail part lying around. There's an extra plow, standard knuckle coupler if you didn't want the Rapido style, which I have kept on just because I've yet to change it. So we're just going to pop this little guy out here, nice and flat on the table. There we go. Okay, as per detail, needless to say, this locomotive stands out because it is awesome. And mind you, it's as big as my fat thumb. So, when I got out of the box, I was immediately impressed just by the sheer, I mean, for such a tiny model, they pack a lot of detail, and I mean a lot of detail. I'll move the camera closer, you can just get an idea of what I'm talking about here. I mean, the trucks, the rivets, the drivers, everything looks great. Well, minus that ball of fluff I've yet to remove. But, I mean, the locomotive looks fantastic. I'll set the camera back down so you guys can get a better look at it. I'll move it to the front just to point out a few things that make this model a little bit different than the standard version. It's got an LED headlight. The smoke deflectors come standard. Ditto for Rapido coupler. The thing I like about this is how they include the plow. And this is really neat because it's part of the articulated truck assembly. You see it's still attached to the wheel set. That's kind of cool. Makes it really flexible through tight turns. Kato is really good with that, I've come to find out. Let's just go on down the side here. You see we got the pop-off valves, got the whistle on this side. And we got a little bit of silver on the engineer and fireman window, which is really, really good. Okay, we're going to start at the tender side first. You see got a very nicely detailed coal load, ladders in the rear of the tender, the nameplate on the back. It's got 2 little dots where there would be marker lights in reality, but of course you can't fit those in here. Moving on the back, you can even see in the cab it is very detailed. The boiler back head pops out to me at least. Got some window glass. Okay, back alongside, got the injector there. Box pock drivers. And everything looks great to me. I see no detail flaws with this engine besides those that I've yet to put on. Well, I've taught you off in detail. I know you guys want to see this run, and frankly, it's really, really good. So let's get over to the test track. Alrighty, so operation-wise, the only issue I noticed with this locomotive out of the box was a little growl at low speed. This was remedied with some oil, but it needs a little bit more. So I'll go ahead and fire it up for you. And I'm still using my phone for lighting because it's going to be about that dark. I want you guys to see the details of this thing. So here we go. Very smooth, very bright headlight. This locomotive is awesome. Now I'm going to let it loose on the track here in a few, and this is where the purists are going to hate me. I do not have any Japanese cars, so it's going to be stuck pulling some American stock in the meantime. But that's going to change soon. So let's get cracking on the operation. Alrighty guys, and there you have it, the D51. Overall, I am very, very pleased with this locomotive and impressed. I can tell you it will not be the last piece of Kato N-scale steam I get. This pretty much sold me. It's probably going to take a little while to acquire some more pieces, A, cost, B, import, and whatnot, but this is a nice little niche to occupy while I dabble in N-scale. But thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and maybe for some of my stateside viewers, the first time you've seen this locomotive. So if you get a chance, get one. You'll love it. And until next time, guys, this is SCL 3618 signing off.